the former heavyweight champion, and now the challenger, Sonny Liston. His opponent from Louisville, Kentucky. He's wearing white trunks. He weighs 206. The heavyweight champion of the world, Muhammad Ali.
The referee is former heavyweight champion, Jersey Joe Walcott.
I'm not going to go with a lot of preliminaries. I know you both know the rules of Maine, so I'm in here to enforce them. So I'll say to you, keep your punches up, protect yourself at all times. Good luck. Shake hands, come out fighting.
The champion says a prayer in his corner. Clay takes the lead at the start. As he did the night he won the title, Clay uses the ring, makes Liston look slow. Liston stalks, tries for the body. In a moment, as Liston reaches with a left lead, Clay will counter with a right over the left and drop the challenger. Let's look at the slow motion and listen to the champion's comments.
I'm glad you're showing this in slow motion. I see why now. So fast, I don't guess you can see me in real action. Look at that beautiful grace, fella. You've never seen a man in history move like this. Notice that. Ain't that beautiful? Dodging all of those powerful punches. You notice him floating like a butterfly and stinging like a bee. That's the old saying.
Here's that left lead and the right counter. We asked the champion what he was shouting at Liston.
Tell the bum to get up and fight.
Jersey Joe Walcott, late in waving play to a neutral corner, then unable to pick up the knockdown, crosses the ring, leaves the fighters on their own. Incorrect. By timing our film, we're able to establish that the knockout came at 1 minute 57 2/3 seconds and that Liston was down 17 1/3 seconds in this, one of the most controversial of all title fights.
I got a new car with a red tail light. It's like blue on the corners and it's hung in tight. It's got a rag top and a contour hood. She goes up, and she's run. Let's go!
The 1999 Mazda Miata. Set it free, and it'll return the favor.
When you or someone you love is hospitalized, safety matters most. That's why doctors and hospitals choose Tylenol more than any other pain reliever. Doctors know Tylenol is least likely to have drug interactions, and it won't cause stomach irritation the way aspirin and even ibuprofen sometimes can. It's the pain reliever hospitals use most. Tylenol. Take comfort in our strength.
Hi, I'm old school pitcher Bob Gibson.
2 strikes and a ball. Once again, a standing ovation. A new World Series record.
This is ESPN Classic.
For 20 points, can you name the greatest, grooviest, swingingest 70s sports quiz show ever?
Would you like to try a guess?
Don't even ask us that.
Every weeknight from 7 to 8, ESPN Classic has got all the right answers. It's Sports Challenge. See the hippest, most happening athletes as they compete in the ultimate contest of mental conquest. If you've got a need for knowledge, check the facts on Sports Challenge. Every weeknight from 7 to 8, only on ESPN Classic. Are you old school?
This is ESPN Classic.
Holly hit him a very legitimate, fast, clean right hand. There was nothing phony about the knockout of Sonny Liston in the second fight. Two things happened that makes the punch so effective. A fighter in the first round, before the adrenaline really flows, no matter how he warms up in the dressing room, is not the same fighter in terms of withstanding a punch as a fighter in the third or fourth round. Many fighters are knocked down. Joe Louis, Marciano, many fighters, great fighters, were knocked down in the first round. And secondly, it was a very clean, sharp punch that caught Liston coming in right on his jaw. And the punch's impact, if you look at our films, you see that Liston's heel is actually lifted up by the impact of the punch. It was a tough punch. It was a short punch, but a very sharply delivered punch, one of Ali's best. And Liston was hurt.
Ali plants his right foot, spinning off his left, pivoting off his left, comes down, and you get more power coming down. Hitting Liston with his right, somewhere in here. I couldn't see that, but I know it was a hell of a punch. And Liston is off balance, it lifts his left foot off the canvas, and he goes down on his back. At this point, Ali stands over him and hollers, "Get up, sucker! Get up, sucker!" And he's got his hands in the air. He wanted to give the fans a show. He had heard the first fight was a fix, and he wanted to really cream Liston this time. And then the firestorm starts. Fix, phantom punch.
Muhammad Ali claimed there was no fix. Nonetheless, the boxing world still questions Liston's reactions to a right hand administered by a retreating Ali. It remains as a seed of controversy and a black mark on Ali's outstanding record.
I saw the punch. It was a good punch. It wasn't a great punch, but it hit him flush. And how could Sonny Liston, who had never been knocked down before, be knocked out by a punch that half of them didn't see? But that was Ali's speed.
The only thing strange about it is Liston never got a count. Of course he was hurt and on the canvas and could not really have gotten up perhaps, but he never got a count. There was no referee counting even one. So this was the rationale for Liston not having been able to get up. If he had gotten a count and gotten up, I think Ali would have beaten him. And Ali, I think, was ready to finish him off.
I don't have a clue what was happening. I mean, one of the things, there is nothing tenser than being ringside at a heavyweight title fight, and particularly when unexpectedly, 2 minutes into the fight, the challenger's on the deck, or the champion's on the deck. I mean, it is very exciting, and quite frankly, the only thing I was worrying about was pressing the button, making sure I had framed it properly, winding for the next shot. All I remember thinking to myself was just perfect. Stay right where you are, Sonny. Don't get up. Please don't get up. It wouldn't have made a difference if it had gone 14 rounds. That's the moment everyone's going to look for. And I knew I was in the best seat.
One of the fights I didn't get to see was the second Liston fight in Lewiston, Maine. I didn't get to see it in person, but I did get to see it on closed-circuit television in the old Astor Hotel in New York. And I took a group of people with me to see the fight, including Günter Grass, the German novelist, Calder Willingham, the American novelist, Edna O'Brien, the Irish novelist. And, of course, the fight was over just like that. And as we're walking out, Günter Grass, this great novelist, is humming the Star-Spangled Banner. And I looked at him and he said, "It's a very catchy tune."
Some days business is so slow, we can watch the buds bloom. And other times, we can barely keep up. So our cash flow is pretty erratic. That's a problem. But when we turned to the people at American Express Small Business Services, they had a solution. Corporate Optima. It's a credit card for business with a low fixed interest rate on purchases when I need to pay over time, and the buying power we need every day. So if the fax won't fax, we can replace it without missing an order. And with the generous credit line, we finally got a real display case at the same low rate. When we need to pay our temp help, I can also access my credit line with the check option. And it all shows up here on my management reports. I love what I do. And with help from American Express, I'll keep on doing it.
To apply for the Corporate Optima card with a low 9.99% fixed rate and no annual fee, call 1-800-SUCCESS.
Introducing the Bowflex Power Pro. Bowflex uses patented power rod resistance to give you an incredibly smooth, natural feel for over 60 different health club quality exercises. It's easy to see why a Bowflex was selected by Fitness Magazine as the best home gym. Call right now for your free video and brochure and discover the look you've always wanted with the Bowflex Power Pro.
If you want to see the greatest uncut fights of all time, you've got to watch ESPN Classic. Now experience boxing's most unique show, an exclusive look inside the ring with the champ, Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray's Hit Parade. He'll take you through historic battles and give you the inside story behind every hook, jab, and knockout from fights that are totally uncut. Sugar Ray's Hit Parade. Tuesday at 9, only on ESPN Classic.
So close to the action, you got to duck.
Are you old school?
This time of year, I need more than an ordinary eye drop. I need Ocuhist.
Ocuhist eye allergy relief from Visine. It's anti-itching. It's anti-redness. It's antihistamine relief for your eyes. Ocuhist's special antihistamine formula stops the itching and relieves eye allergies fast.
My eyes feel great.
Get Ocuhist eye allergy relief from Visine. It gets the itch out.
This is ESPN Classic.
Perhaps the only time that Ali was cruel during his career was in his treatment of Floyd Patterson, who had ironically been his hero when he was a teenager. But as he became champion and as Patterson faded in boxing and as he became prominent in the Muslim movement and Patterson was perceived by some of the people in the Muslim movement as being an Uncle Tom, an antagonism was evident between the two. And in the ring, where Ali was clearly dominant, he taunted him. He did not treat Patterson nicely. I don't think it's something that he's very proud of now.
This will be a mismatch. Floyd Patterson will be no match. He's too short. He's too slow. He don't have the reach. He can't take a punch. He don't hit hard. And he don't have the footwork.
I guess Patterson was very sensitive about the fact that he was being humiliated by and being ridiculed. That was the word, ridiculed by Ali, and he just resented it naturally and took and took more umbrage into the fact that he was going to call him Cassius Clay as a result of that.
I have a habit of labeling my fighters. You know, a rabbit is an animal that's scared of his own shadow. A rabbit is an animal, if you pin him in a corner, he'll freeze and he won't be able to move. That's why I call Patterson a rabbit, because he has the characteristics of a rabbit. Sonny Liston looked at him hard and he froze in both fights, just like a rabbit.
And of course you call Liston the bear.
Yeah, the bear, he's in hibernation.
Former heavyweight champion Floyd Patterson gets an unusual visitor at his private training camp.
So I want you to train hard. I come here in person. I come back up. Back up. What makes you think you can whip me? What makes you think? Come on. Be good. Tony was a small guy too. Let him train. I don't want to mess with your trainer. I just want you to know that from now on you are the rabbit.
Patterson refused to call Ali Ali. He called him Cassius Clay. And Ali was very serious about his Muslim religion, but he was genuinely angry at Floyd for refusing to recognize the sincerity of his conversion to Muslim. Because he refused to accept the sincerity, Ali did taunt him through the fight and kept saying, "My name is not Clay, call me Ali, call me," and he beat him up. He did punish him both verbally and physically during the fight.
Vegas Convention Center, the hour has come. First to enter the ring is challenger Floyd Patterson, the only man ever to have won the heavyweight title 2 times. He now seeks to win it again for a 3rd time. And here comes the opposition. Heavyweight champion Muhammad Ali, 210 pounds, nearly 14 pounds heavier than Patterson, 3 inches taller, 7 years younger. At ringside are a number of outstanding celebrities. Joe DiMaggio front and center. Joey Bishop, Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, and Mr. Las Vegas himself, Abe Schiller, with movie star Jim Garner. Referee Harry Krause brings champion and challenger together in the center of the ring. And now, as they say in Las Vegas, deal 'em. Referee Krause holds things up for just a moment as the handlers scramble from the ring. But right from the very start, the pattern of fighting goes just as predicted. The champion just moves, dances, glides, and slides, hides behind a good left jab, and keeps his opponent off balance almost all the time, just spinning him away. Floyd is content to plod right on top of the champion, move right after him, flat-footed stance. In fact, the big surprise came early. Early for the fans in the stands because Patterson picked up a point lead in round number 1. By round 4, the beginning of this round, the champion is showing that he dominates the action almost in every department. He outboxes the challenger, outpunches Floyd, outmoves the man. Notice the facial expressions when we get a good close-up of challenger Patterson and the champion Clay. Clay gives you more definite, hard looks. Around about midway through this 4th round, Muhammad Ali is showing signs of greatness, of reminding fans of guys from yesteryear like Jack Johnson, Billy Conn, Tommy Loughlin. He boxes very well. Note how well Muhammad Ali is doing with Floyd with his hands rather low at long range. Gives you the big target to shoot at, but then he just isn't there.
It's always been my way or no way, right? So when I go away, I stay at Super 8. I want it comfortable. Am I right? I want my VIP discount and friendly people. But not too friendly. Life's great at Super 8.
Hey, man, how come every time I call you, you're on the phone? Who are you talking to?
My friends, family. I call them a lot since I don't get to see them that much.
Phone bills must be killing you.
Not at all. I dial 10-10-321. Saves me 50% on calls over 10 minutes.
And when you're talking with family and friends, you just know you're going to be on for a while.
Sounds good. My wife's on the phone all the time with her sister. Hey, man, am I ever going to get to shoot?
Not when you're playing against me.
It knows 2 speeds. Stop and go. It just beat a series of the toughest stop-and-go driving tests in the world, and it's brand new. Go ahead. Guess. You have 4.3 seconds. Introducing Pennzoil with new Pure Base. Stop. Go. Pennzoil.
Here, kitty.
The new Silverado interior is so big, there's plenty of room for seating. And, in a pinch...
Mommy said I could ride the pony.
Ample room for sleeping. Introducing Silverado, the truck from Chevrolet.
Have you seen this? It's a Pepsid AC chewable, a great-tasting minty chewable in its own individual wrapper. Keep one in your pocket so you can stop heartburn before it starts. Anytime, anywhere.
Every weeknight at 6:30.
Does anything ever scare you?
Shap one-on-one.
I was happy that he didn't get back up.
The best guest in sport.
Harding, what do you want to be? A football player or a playboy?
It was Don Newcomb not being able to win the big ones.
You heard it first right here from Chocolate Thunder, Daryl Dawkins.
Shap one-on-one. The best talk in sports. Every weeknight at 6:30, only on ESPN Classic.
This is great. Talking to a friend, that's all.
This is ESPN Classic.
Round number 6, Patterson and Clay make this one the best round of the fight. Before it's over, you'll see a knockdown, and you'll see a game, Floyd Patterson. Clay, in moving forward, is still not the aggressor in this round or in this fight. When he puts those punches together, look out, brother. This man fires in every direction. Left jab, right uppercut, left hook. Lots of damage. In number 10, Floyd is staying in there on sheer courage, on gameness. A beaten fighter. very hard to slip that fast left lead. Note that in Patterson's corner, they're practically lifting him up for this 12th round. This is the beginning of the end for the challenger. It's almost all over. Firing more uppercuts, more jabs right now than 2 or 3 rounds earlier. Champion continues to talk to the challenger, continues to be on target and on time. The referee looking in closely at Floyd, close to the end. Referee Krause stops the fight. 2 minutes, 18 seconds of round 12. TKO. Muhammad Ali, Cassius Clay, beats Floyd Patterson to remain heavyweight champion of all the boxing world. Hand raised for his second title defense. 23-year-old king of all the heavyweights. Mrs. Patterson consoles the game guy, veteran Floyd, a 2-time king of the heavyweights. But Muhammad Ali has the last word. He's still king of them all in the heavyweight boxing division.
I believe it was before the Patterson fight. In fact, it was before the Patterson fight. And Ali came up to the studio. So he walks in, gets in gloves and trunks, stands on the spot, and I took my first Polaroid, and he says, "Let me see that Polaroid. Let me see how pretty I look." And I takes a look at the first Polaroid, and he says, "What's that light doing up there?" And I said, "Well, that's my front light." He said, "Karsh didn't have a light there." And he said, "What about that light back there?" And he's throwing these names at me. He says, "I just posed for Avedon." He said, "How old are you? You look about 11. He said, "What, they sent a kid to do this? What, did the main guy get sick?" But the relationship was that way from the very first session. It was no different the last time when he had seen my pictures on 10 SI covers. He still would come in and criticize.
So I'm driving down La Brea Boulevard in Los Angeles one day, and I see this crowd in a parking lot of a McDonald's. And there is Ali. He's in a convertible Rolls Royce. And I pull in, walk over, he sees, "Little brother." He's eating. There's crowd people around and so on and so forth, and we get in the car and he's driving. He says, "How would you like to run the golf course with me tomorrow? We'll get up, we'll run together." I said, which golf course? And he named this golf course. And I said, well, champ, I'm not allowed on that golf course. He said, why not? You a bad golfer? I said, no, I'm Jewish, and they don't allow Jewish people on that course. It's a restricted course. And he looked at me and said, but I'm a black Muslim. And he said, you show up with me, ain't no one gonna stop us from running. So, just the look on his face when he said this, damn, I'm a black Muslim. It was funny.
These hands have been trusted with many a small head.
Come on in.
Arthritis will not change that.
Who's the big boy?
Presenting Tylenol Arthritis Extended Relief. It lasts up to twice as long as regular aspirin without irritating your stomach, so you're in very good hands.
You know, you're a lot better in the barber chair than your dad was.
Tylenol Arthritis. Take comfort in our strength.
When you're active, the last thing you want is the uncomfortable itch of dandruff. Introducing new Head & Shoulders Refresh. It helps prevent dandruff, and its refreshing mint formula feels cool and stimulating on the scalp. No regular shampoo can give you hair so refreshed and flake-free. New Head & Shoulders Refresh from the Head & Shoulders family. Our refreshing way to help prevent dandruff.
The hair is big, the tube socks are high, and the action is down and dirty.
Can you dig it?
All the moves are on ESPN Classic, roller derby style.
Ouch.
Right on. The forces of good versus some bad.
Shut your mouth.
So join the pack for a crash course in old school. I'm talking roller superstar.
You said it.
Friday and Saturday late nights only on ESPN Classic. Baby, it's Dynamite.
Everybody grab it out there. Nobody touch it. Grab. Nobody touch it. Put your shoulders in there out there.
ESPN Classic. Are you old school?
Every Friday, ESPN unveils a new profile in the countdown of the 50 greatest athletes of the century. This week, the Mick. From the plains of Oklahoma to the Badlands of the Bronx, Mickey Mantle etched his name in Yankee history. From his raw country power through his brilliant but injury-plagued career to his untimely death, Mickey Mantle proved his mettle time and again, both on and off the field. Sports Century's 50 Greatest Athletes. Number 37, Mickey Mantle. Friday at 10:30 on ESPN. Presented by General Motors.
This is ESPN Classic.
November 14, 1966, Muhammad Ali took on Cleveland Williams. 46 foreign countries and 125 locations in the U.S. were hooked up to closed circuit. When Ali fought, the world stopped.
You're going to see probably the best heavyweight of all time. His lightning speed, his reflexes, his coordination. I believe you'll see that he doesn't miss a punch. Punch after punch after punch, delivered not only with force, but with extraordinary accuracy. If you're on a stat which they use now, you know, to show the number of punches thrown and the punches landed, which they did not have at that time, I think he may have hit 75 or 80%, maybe even higher, and unheard of. Today, 35 or 40% is considered very good. I think he landed 80 or 90% of his punches in that fight. It was extraordinary accuracy, and he was just so fast and that Cleveland Williams had gotten himself into great shape for that fight. He wanted to win the fight, and he was a tough guy.
The Muhammad Ali Cleveland Williams bout for the heavyweight championship of the world. This is Bill Caton with Jim Jacobs taking you to the Astrodome for the heavyweight championship bout. Jim, where are we right now?
This is Houston's fabulous Astrodome, Bill. Inside the Astrodome, there's a big, brightly lit sign which says, "Welcome to the Astrodome, the 8th wonder of the world." And in fact, Houston believes that.
That's quite a crowd they had that night, isn't it?
I believe it was estimated about 35,000 people attended the Astrodome's first heavyweight championship fight.
That's Joe Louis,
the famous ground bomber who's got more friends in the world probably than any other living fighter. Here's challenger Cleveland Williams, the big cat, entering the ring. He got a tremendous ovation from the crowd. He's very popular there.
He's generally conceded to be the hardest punching challenger Muhammad has ever faced.
Yes, that's true. Here's Muhammad Ali, the brilliant, fast boxing heavyweight champion. Ali is staying warm in there, bouncing up and down. This is generally his conduct before all of his fights.
What does Muhammad weigh tonight?
He weighed 212.5 pounds, Bill, to Cleveland Williams' 210 pounds. There's an excellent close-up of the champion. Cleveland Williams introduced to the crowd. And next, Muhammad Ali. We're doing his little shuffle there, the famous Muhammad Ali shuffle, which befuddles everyone. Here are the fighters getting the last moment ring instructions from the referee, Bill, before this heavyweight championship contest begins. Muhammad Ali, heavyweight champion, moves out in white trunks, and challenger Cleveland Williams in black trunks, pursuing Ali.
Muhammad always moves very fast in the first round. Why does he do this?
Well, there are many reasons, but the one that I think is most important to the champion is that naturally he's a little nervous, as any fighter would be in a heavyweight championship fight. So it has the combined effect of working the edge off, Bill, and also, while he's moving around with that blinding speed, nobody can hit him.
Seems to me he probably befuddles his opponents, too.
To say the least. When you're in there with a challenger like Cleveland Williams, who carries knockout power with either hand, you better keep moving. Here in round one, Bill, Muhammad moving to the left, moving to the right, never letting Williams get a good crack at him. And you know Williams has just one thought in his mind, and that's to land that devastating left hook on the champion's jaw.
Muhammad's been the most active heavyweight champion, hasn't he? This is his 6th title defense?
I believe it's his 7th title defense, Bill, although I believe that Muhammad has defended 5 times this year. This is his 5th title defense in 1966, but it's a total of 7 title defenses since he beat Sonny Liston for the heavyweight championship in Miami Beach. Look at that left.
Probably the best left jab in the business. The only one who ever came close was Joe Louis, but it seems to me that Muhammad's even faster.
Yes, I believe that's a fact. I have never seen a heavyweight champion who throws faster punches than Muhammad Ali. Floyd Patterson had brilliant hand speed, but heavyweight champion Muhammad Ali, I believe, is the fastest punching heavyweight I've ever seen.
During this past year, he's beaten Paul Mildenberger, Brian London, Henry Cooper, George Chuvalo, in addition to previous defenses against Patterson and Liston.
Look at that little shuffle. Tremendous punching by Muhammad Ali. You know, Bill, he got in about 7 punches there before Cleveland Williams could react.
Cleveland Williams is trying to corner Muhammad, but who can corner so fast a fighter?
Everyone who has ever fought Muhammad Ali has tried in vain to get him caught on the ropes where they could land those big punches. And there's the end of round 1.
Edgar and I have so much in common. It's like we were long-lost brothers.
We both have larger than average ears.
We both have pretty straight hair.
It's creepy.
And get this. We both love the taste of Miller Lite because of the choice hops. It's like we were separated at birth.
Actually, George, I think Miller Lite tastes great because it's smooth.
Excuse me?
I like the smoothness.
Who are you?
Miller Lite, the great taste of a true Pilsner beer.
This vehicle is a lot like an all-weather coat. I mean, you know, a tough one. It's ready for the elements, ready for any situation. But there's a surprise. When you go to put this thing on, oh, that's actually pretty smooth. There's fur in here. This is comfortable. That's the experience of looking at a Pathfinder and then getting into it. You're in a whole different world inside, and it's one of comfort and luxury.
Don't worry, little one. Daddy's got Tylenol for his headache. Tylenol works on headache pain without the risk of stomach irritation. So before you know it, Daddy's going to be right as rain.
Mom's calling Enterprise Rent-A-Car because our car is sick.
Enterprise will arrange to pick you up,
Wow!
drive you to our place, and get you on your way.
Everybody loves to be picked up.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Big Fights Boxing Hour gives you access to the largest boxing library in the world. Here's what you can check out in this library. Rare footage of classic fighters, the stories from outside the ring, and volumes of the greatest action in boxing history. Every week, Al Bernstein puts you ringside for classic fights you can't see anywhere else. Ali, Marciano, Leonard, Lewis, plus hard-hitting fighters every boxing fan ought to know. Big Fights Boxing Hour, Tuesday at 10, only on ESPN Classic.
This is ESPN Classic.
Now here we are in round 2. Challenger Cleveland Big Cat Williams in black trunks, still pursuing the champion, trying to get in that big left hook. But it's Clay who lands a tremendous left hook.
The referee is the famous Harry Kessler, isn't he?
Yes, Harry Kessler, who has refereed many heavyweight championship fights, is in there. Very competent referee. Another left hook by Muhammad. You see the champion getting in those lefts. He's never still for a moment. Tying Cleveland Williams up in the clinches. Notice how the champion jabs and moves, Bill.
I think Cleveland was up for this fight, but never expected to have so ferocious and fast an opponent. He's trying, but he just can't seem to get unwound.
Well, everyone who fights Muhammad Ali has that additional problem of not only coping with his fighting ability, but having to contend with that marvelous speed of the champion. Look at that. Challenger Cleveland Williams punching at a champion who wasn't there once the punch was let go.
But Muhammad is really sharp tonight, isn't he? His timing is beautiful.
Certainly is. Ali tying up the challenger in the clinches. It appears as if Williams tries to get a punch off. Now watch this, Bill. A 1-2 and Williams goes down. He gets up at the count of 3, but there's a mandatory 8 count. So referee Harry Kessler continues the count. Challenger Cleveland Williams floored for the first time in this fight. Now Clay moves in there. Throwing combinations. Landing all types of punches, and Williams goes down again. This time he's up at the count of 3, but again, the mandatory 8 count is in effect. Kessler counting off the seconds as the champion retreats to a neutral corner.
Williams is bleeding from the cut nose and 1 or 2 other cuts at this time, too, isn't he?
Yes, he is, Bill. Those were very hard punches by the champion. Again, Williams goes down, and this time he's flat on his back. 4. There's the bell, and Williams is saved at the end of round 2. It appeared, Bill, as if he wasn't going to get up.
What did Angelo Dundee tell Muhammad between rounds?
Between this second and third round, Dundee, the brilliant trainer of Muhammad Ali, told the champion to be careful because he was afraid that the champion would go out there and throw caution to the winds. Williams is always dangerous, and Angelo Dundee knows that. Tremendous punching by Ali. Brilliant. And again, Cleveland Williams goes down for the 4th time here in round 3. Williams is up at the count of 4, but again, the mandatory 8 count goes into effect.
Williams is certainly game. He's showing great courage coming back after this beating.
Look at that tremendous flurry by the champion. This certainly answers the question whether Muhammad Ali can punch. It's apparent that Williams is in desperate trouble. Look at his face there, Beth. And referee Kessler steps in and stops the fight. Muhammad Ali, heavyweight champion of the world still.
No question after this fight, they're comparing Muhammad to the greatest of all-time fighters from the standpoint not only of speed, which everyone had known, but from the standpoint of punching power as well. He really hit hard.
There's no question about it. Muhammad Ali still the champion.
The picture of Cleveland Williams is a picture I had planned. I could have drawn that picture for you before I ever got on a plane to go to Houston. It's what I'd wanted. It's what I'd hoped for. It required only one bit of luck. It needed a knockout where the fighter ended up looking up. And Cleveland Williams obliged.
How can you bring the world closer to you? Call Earthlink Sprint, America's leading internet service. You'll get direct, high-speed internet access. More local access numbers across the U.S. and Canada than any other ISP. All the help you need when you need it. Oh, yeah.
Now I can put my work out there for everyone to see.
Call today to find out more about Earthlink. And if you act now, it will cost you just $1 to try us for 60 days. Earthlink doesn't make you wait or hold you back. You'll get faster downloads, faster everything. Faster, 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 faster. All of my favorite stuff shows up automatically. Earthlink was chosen as America's best ISP by PC Magazine. So why not sign up now? You'll get 60 days of unlimited access for only $1. Join more than 1 million people who have already made the move to Earthlink Sprint. We'll even give all your friends your new email address. Just call and bring the world home. After all, it is your internet. Oh, yeah.
Hey guys, if you have thinning hair, call 1-800-HAIR CLUB. We're going to send you our new 40-page hair loss update. Covers the most up-to-date information on hair growing drugs and methods, as well as Hair Club's most natural-looking, non-surgical hair development to date. You won't believe some of the hairstyles that you never thought you could have again that are now attainable through this method. Whether you're brushing your hair back, coming out of the pool, or just roughing up the hair, it looks and feels like your own growing hair. Call 1-800-HAIR CLUB for your free booklet. 1-800-HAIR CLUB.
Only ESPN Classic lets you pick what you want to watch Sunday nights. Just log on to ESPN.com on the Go Network and vote for the week's Classic Click and Pick event. This week, click Choice 1 to see Bernie Perron fend off Bobby Orr's Bruins in the Flyers 74 bid for the Stanley Cup. Click Choice 2 to see the birth of a new hockey hero when the Flyers tangle with the Islanders in an overtime thriller. Log on for even more classic Click and Pick choices. Then, tune in to ESPN Classic next Sunday at 7 to see if your pick is the Classic Click and Pick of the week. It's only on ESPN Classic. This is ESPN Classic. This is ESPN Classic.
What Ali always was to me was a symbol of my youth then. I mean, Ali was the first guy to stand up and say, this war is unjust. I ain't got no quarrel against no Viet Cong. I will not fight. And he put everything on the line for the sake of his religious beliefs. But to me, it was more than that. He was a symbol of the entire youth of America who were saying, something's wrong here.
I'm not going to help nobody get something my Negroes don't have. If I'm going to die, I'll die now, right here fighting you. If I'm going to die, you my enemy. My enemies are white people, not Viet Congs or Chinese or Japanese. You my opposer when I want freedom. You my opposer when I want justice. You my opposer when I want equality. You won't even stand up for me in America for my religious beliefs, and you want me to go somewhere and fight, but you won't even stand up for me here at home.
Cosell told America what it didn't want to hear. He thought Ali was right.
Every feeling I've had in every stand I've ever taken comes from being born, raised, and trained at law. The case of the United States against Muhammad Ali is the simplest case in point. April 28, 1967, 4800 San Jacinto Street, Houston, Texas, Federal Customs Building. A man walks in. He walks in with the rights of any American citizen. He rejects stepping forward and thereby rejects military induction. 30 minutes thereafter, a politically appointed hack of a boxing commissioner here in this state, New York, strips him of his duly achieved property right, which is the heavyweight title. Now, I'm born and raised at law. I majored in constitutional law. And 98% of the print medium of this country wanted Ali deported. Let them live with that for as long as they can.
After the knockout of Williams, it was clear that Ali was in his prime. But the Louisville Draft Board had changed his draft status from 1Y to 1A. Muhammad responded that he had no quarrel with the Viet Cong. Americans were furious. March 22nd, 1967. Muhammad Ali uttered the words, "This may be your last chance to see me in living color." The heavyweight champion stated he would take the jail sentence over military service. Zora Foley was a 34-year-old soft-spoken contender. He would become Ali's 29th consecutive victim and the last man in the 60s to challenge for Ali's title.
Here we are coming out for the 7th round now. Try to watch this. Do you want to tell us what's happening, Muhammad?
Well, right now I'm just stalking him and watching him. He's flat-footed. He looks slower. As you know, he leans back when I hit at him. That's my style, leaning back, and it's hard to hit a man when he leans back. And he's real tricky. I realized that I did have 15 rounds to figure him out, and there I just caught him with a right chop. Dazed him a little. But he's awful tricky, and he's mostly jabbing and shooting left and rights at my body. He wasn't going too much for the head.
How do you tell the effect of a punch on an opponent?
Well, I'll watch his eyes the second I hit him, and usually he's in a trance or a little daze.
Now he's still carrying the fight, do you hear?
Yes, as you know, Don, this is the 7th title fight in 13 months, which is the same as Joe Louis. I've had a lot of 15-round fights during the title, and I'm really a little tired. And a lot of other pressures on me. And it looked like we had a sellout crowd here tonight, and I was glad of that. But Foley's just taking his time, waiting, and I'm waiting. But I usually rely on my man getting tired, because heavyweights usually are tired after following me for about 4 rounds.
Well, we're almost ready for it, aren't we?
Yeah, I imagine so. I'm just watching. That was a beautiful right hand that caught him.
And I don't think there's any doubt that he's not going to get up in time.
Right, he
tried.
Almost made it, but he stumbled.
The winner by a knockout and still heavyweight champion of the world, Muhammad Ali.
You know, champ, Mrs. Foley.
I'd like to also say hello to my friend. I wish him luck in his campaign, Dick Gregory.
Oh, no politics there. We'll have to give
just my friend.
We'll have to give equal time to the opposition if you do that.
He's just my friend.
You know, I think it'd be nice if we said something to Mrs. Foley out there in Chandler. She must be quite disappointed.
I'd like to say to her that her husband is a decent, honorable man. I checked him after the fight. He's all right. He's not seriously hurt in no way. He was just a little shook up, but he's all right. And I'd like to say hello to all of her children and be proud of their father.
Very nice.
Because he's the best scientific boxer I've ever met. And if I'd met him 10 years ago, I know that I would have had a lot of trouble.
During all that time, he never had no animosity towards anyone, never got mad at anybody. In fact, he would call me up at time and say, "Hey, Ange, how about coming out and working out at the gym? Will you let me work out?" I said, "Stop that. This is your gym. Anytime you want to." And I loved him for that, because he never said one adverse thing against anybody.
During that period of time, there were a lot of chances to get a fight for Muhammad Ali, and a lot of people with a lot of ideas, but nothing ever came of it.
I know they tried several spots, several towns, several states, several gimmicks, doing it indoors, out of a suburban area. It never worked. He would have loved to fought, naturally, because that's what he loved, was boxing.
you have to think that were that situation to happen today, it might have been a very different story. Muhammad Ali might have been a victim of the times.
Well, at the end of it, everybody gave him accolades for what he done, for believing what he done. I mean, because he was sincere, he was honest. I always said, heck, I hope I was as great a Catholic as he was a Muslim.
This time of year, I need AccuHist.
AccuHist Eye Allergy Relief. It's anti-itching, anti-redness, antihistamine relief for your eyes. So it relieves eye allergies fast.
My eyes feel great.
AccuHist from Visine. It gets the itch out.
Beginning today, the family trip will never be the same. The Silhouette Premier by Oldsmobile, the first minivan with an audio-video entertainment system built right in. Start enjoying the trip. The Silhouette Premier, only from Oldsmobile.
If you end up using anything but AC Delco parts in your car, who knows where you'll end up? AC Delco. If you're not asking for it, you're asking for it.
You know, I always recommend AC Delco automotive parts to all my customers. They're some of the most dependable you can buy. AC Delco. If you're not asking for it, you're asking for it.
Why do I rent from Enterprise? Very simple. No stress.
We'll be happy to
They arrange to pick me up free, so I don't have to ask anyone for a ride. See? No stress.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Hi, this is the Rocket, Roger Clemens, and you're watching ESPN Classic.
This is ESPN Classic.
Basically, his instincts were good. His instincts on the war in Vietnam were good. His instincts toward people were good. And he may have been a member of the Muslim movement, but he never hated people because of the color of their skin or for any reason like that. In fact, I hardly ever saw him hate anyone. He loved people. He loved people of all ages, all races, all everything. And as long as they were happy to be around him, he was happy to have them around. I remember when he was living in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, and he lived in a house at the end of a cul-de-sac, and tourists used to come and just drive around the cul-de-sac so they could point and say, there's Muhammad Ali's house. And he would come out the front door and invite them in and show them around the house, which kind of drove his wife crazy. I mean, he'd have people trooping through and dropping snow and rain all through his house. But he just wanted to be friendly. And this was completely honest on his part.
Muhammad Ali was in a battle with the courts and millions of Americans who doubted his appeal for conscientious objector status. The champion had failed his draft test twice before, but skeptical officers kept after the evasive Ali. Muhammad received many death threats and a disturbing telegram from ex-champion Gene Tunney, which read, "You have disgraced your title, the American flag, and the principles for which it stands."
Now, draft is another thing that's against my religious beliefs.
When a registrant refuses this first step, when his name is called, he is quietly removed from the room. He is counseled as to the seriousness of his refusal. He is given the penalties, the maximum legal penalties that this act could result in.
Whatever the punishment, whatever the persecution is for standing up for my religious beliefs, even if it means facing machine gun fire that day, I will face it before denouncing Elijah Muhammad and the religion of Islam. I'm ready to die.
If he again refuses, we ask him if he would give a statement that he refuses induction.
I said that I'm going to be a man. I'm going to fight it legally. If I lose it, I'm just going to jail. As many of you know, these days I'm not boxing. So I accept these college invitations to come out to meet many of you. I realize that in these country towns like this, you never get a chance to see the world champ.
In 1969, when Ali was barred from boxing, I was in touch with him quite a bit. He was living in Chicago at the time. The last week of the baseball season, I went to Chicago with the New York Mets, who had clinched the pennant that year, their first pennant ever, and I was writing a book with Tom Seaver. So I called Ali and invited him to have dinner with Seaver and me, and he said, fine, great. And we went to a restaurant called The Red Carpet, and Seaver and I showed up on time, of course, and Ali arrived suitably late, maybe 20, 25 minutes. We were already seated. He was brought up, he sat down at our table, and of course he immediately dominated the conversation. For about a half an hour, the three of us talked, mostly Ali doing the talking, and after a half an hour, he turned to Seaver, who was right then the best pitcher in baseball, and he said to Tom, "You a nice fella. Which paper you write for?" We went upstairs to my room, and there in my room while we talked, Ali took off his jacket, took off his tie, took off his shirt, and began to shadow box while he talked to Seaver and me. And for half an hour, he shadow boxed, never stopping, talking all the time, reciting poems, and I swear it was better than watching anyone else fight. It was an amazing performance.
Can my title be taken without me being whooped? No! One more time. No! That's all I can do.
In 1969, I was the co-host with Joe Namath of a show that was called, strangely enough, the Joe Namath Show. I don't know why they used that title. But one week, Ali was one of our guests, along with George Segal, the actor. And Segal had just made a movie called Owl and the Pussycat with Barbra Streisand. And in the course of the conversation during the show, we began talking about a nude scene in the movie. As soon as the conversation hit upon a nude scene, Muhammad Ali stood up and said, "I'm a minister, I can't listen to this," and started to walk off stage. Well, I said, "Please, champ, come on, sit down, we'll change the subject, everything will be okay." And he relented and he sat down and we finished the show and everything went fine. And when the show went off the air, I walked over and I said, "I'm sorry, we didn't mean to get you upset. I didn't realize it was going to offend you." And he looked at me and he said, "Oh, he said, the FBI's watching, the CIA's watching. I have to act like that."
Now, I would like to hear this from you. I would like to hear this from you. And I want the world and the cameras to hear it. Who's the heavyweight champion of the world? One more time, we don't want no excuses. They may say the film was bad or the camera was broke. One more time, who's the champion of the world?
Ali was out of boxing for 3 years, as Mike Tyson was later. But unlike Tyson, Ali wasn't locked up. He was out there. He was seeing people. He was giving speeches. He was working out in the gym. He was keeping trim. There was no way he was going to let that beautiful body go to waste, and there was no way he was going to let that beautiful tongue go to waste. He was going to keep talking as long as people would listen.
For 3.5 years, I couldn't fight. My best years, my prime years, man, my great years. 3.5 years. I'm 26, 27, 28, 29.5 years old. You're my best years. But then, out of nowhere, the state of Georgia, 1970, give me a title, license to come back and fight Jerry Quarry. Ugly Jerry Quarry.
Ali hasn't fought in over 3.5 years. In October of 1970, he finally gets a boxing license to fight Jerry Quarry in Atlanta, Georgia.
And I remember in the Regency Hyatt, they had glass elevators that went up the outside of the building. And there was Ali's flock, almost as if they were his apostles, dressed in finery and furs, and those were the males. More than you had ever seen, white mink hats and coats. Ali is going up alone in this glass-encased elevator up the side, and they're downstairs cheering for him. It was a scene right out of Buck Rogers. And I have never witnessed, boxing or anywhere, a scene like that. Ali was that charismatic and meant that much that these were his followers as he went up, and he was waving to them.
Ali goes through the early training periods, making demands to a body which does not respond. His training sessions are dismal. 3.5 years of rust proves to be a much tougher opponent than any fighter Ali has ever faced. Former world heavyweight champion Muhammad Ali, returning to the ring after a 3.5-year absence, takes on Jerry Quarry. But let's visit Muhammad's training camp on the day of the fight. Here's Ali with some friends. That's world handball champion Marty Decatur to Ali's left. Ali says he'll take Decatur on in the court if Marty would go 3 rounds with him first. Ali always does a lot of walking and limbering up, even on the day of a fight. You'd never suspect to watch him here that Ali's been out of the ring for 3.5 years. The night of the fight, spectators are pouring in 2 hours early. Here's Ali in his dressing room getting ready for his big comeback. This is the most difficult time for any fighter, waiting the 1 hour prior to fight time. Testing those lightning fists. He's going down in round 4. He must fall. I'm the champ. I am the champ. Here's Jerry Query testing the canvas. Jerry would like very much to make Ali's comeback unsuccessful. And here's former undefeated world heavyweight champion Muhammad Ali. This is Ali's dramatic comeback. The question now is, does Ali have anything left? Ali is trained down to a beautifully trimmed 210 pounds. Jerry Query weighed in this afternoon at 208. Muhammad Ali comes out for round 1 in white trunks. Query is wearing blue. Ali appears to be the dancing master of the past. Ali's timing seems to be a little bit off. Jerry Query at 25 is 3 years younger than the former champion. Jerry won the 1965 Golden Glove heavyweight title 5 years ago. But tonight, he's the second-ranking heavyweight in the world. And many think that this Muhammad Ali of 1970 will just be a stepping stone for Jerry. Ali looks lightning fast here in round 1. Sharp, stinging punches by Muhammad Ali. Jerry has a vaunted left hook which has knocked out many opponents. Ali looking extremely sharp here in round 1. Who would believe that Muhammad Ali hasn't fought in 3.5 years? Ali's timing definitely off in that series of punches. Jerry moving in, looking for an opening. That's a sharp, stinging jab by Muhammad Ali. And there's the end of round 1, scored for Muhammad Ali. A remarkable showing after such a long layoff.
What do Cub Cadet tractors dream about? Leveling everything in sight. When you've got a tough job, get a tough tractor. Cub Cadet. With a solid steel drive shaft, welded steel frame, and cast iron front axle. Backed by a 5-year limited warranty. Call now and you'll get 0% financing for 12 months. Cub Cadets work harder so you don't have to. With features like hydraulic lift, power steering with tilt, and cruise control. Not to mention a major appetite. It's Cub Tough. Cub Cadet. Call now for information on the complete line of Cub Cadets and get 0% financing for the next 12 months. Cub Cadet. American made, American owned.
Beauty, adventure, drama. All these and more can be yours in the wonderful world of art. And with this free art test from Art Instruction Schools, you can find out if you have the interest and desire needed to become a serious art student. To get your free art test without cost or obligation, call this toll-free number. Don't delay. Call this toll-free number now. Call 1-800-754-0077.
For 20 points, can you name the greatest, grooviest, swingin'est 70s sports quiz show ever?
Would you like to try a guess?
Don't even ask us that.
Every weeknight from 7 to 8, ESPN Classic has got all the right answers. It's Sports Challenge. See the hippest, most happening athletes as they compete in the ultimate contest of mental conquest. If you've got a need for knowledge, check the facts on Sports Challenge. Every weeknight from 7 to 8, only on ESPN Classic. Are you old school?
These days, seems like everybody's got a Cherokee or an Explorer. Me, I like to stand out a bit.
That's why I drive a Subaru Outback.
With a big cargo bay and all-wheel drive, you get all the sport utility you need. But with the smooth ride and better gas mileage, the Outback is far from ordinary. Like me, really. What a weird-looking bunch that was.
This is ESPN Classic.
Ali set for round number 2. It looks like Ali can't wait to get in there. This is Jerry Quarry's 45th professional fight, of which Jerry has won 37. Earlier this year, Jerry scored victories over Rufus Brazil, George Johnson, and Mac Foster. And just 6 weeks ago, Jerry KO'd Stanford Harris in Miami Beach. Ali all over Jerry Quarry here in round 2. Jerry trying to take over. Ali, the dancing master, just seems to float in there. Ali won the world heavyweight title in 1964, 6 years ago, when he KO'd Sonny Liston at Miami Beach. He held the title for 3 years, making 9 world title defenses. Ali looking very sharp here in round 2. A good sharp left by Jerry Quarry. Query trying to score with that lunging left hook. And there's the end of the round, scored once again for Muhammad Ali. Jerry Query moves out for round 3. Muhammad Ali is looking like the Ali of old, dancing beautifully in there. Query looking for that one big knockout punch here in round 3. Ali's ripping left jab opens a cut over Query's left eye, and Query comes right back. Ali seems very nonchalant in there as Jerry Query moves forward. Ripping punches by Muhammad Ali to that cut eye. Ali's all business in there now. He senses the end. Muhammad Ali pouring it on. There's the bell, ending round 3 as Query returns to his corner. The referee says it's all over. Jerry Query is not allowed to come out for the 4th round as a result of a ghastly cut over his left eye. A disappointed but courageous Query goes over to congratulate Muhammad Ali in a sensational comeback victory. Muhammad Ali makes a triumphant return to the ring with a dramatic 3rd round knockout.
This time of year, I need AccuHist.
AccuHist Eye Allergy Relief. It's anti-itching, anti-redness, antihistamine relief for your eyes, so it relieves eye allergies fast.
My eyes feel great.
AccuHist from Visine. It gets the itch out.
Living heartburn-free just got easier. Just keep one of these handy. Pepcid AC Chewables. Minty chewables in their own little wrappers. They go wherever you go to stop heartburn before it starts. What can be easier than that?
It knows 2 speeds. Stop and go. It just beat a series of the toughest stop-and-go driving tests in the world, and it's brand new. Go ahead. Guess. You have 4.3 seconds. Introducing Pennzoil with new Pure Base. Stop. Go. Pennzoil. It knows 2 speeds. Stop and go. It just beat a series of the toughest stop-and-go driving tests in the world, and it's brand new. Go ahead. Guess. You have 4.3 seconds. Introducing Pennzoil with new Pure Base. Stop. Go. Pennzoil.
Nasty storm. Wet road. Looks pretty bad, huh? No problem. That's the beauty of Subaru all-wheel drive, the ultimate safety feature. Thanks, kid. See, it automatically transfers power from the wheels that slip to the wheels that grip. And only Subaru puts it on every car they make. And that's no accident. Subaru, the beauty of all-wheel drive.
If you want to see the greatest uncut fights of all time, you've got to watch ESPN Classic. Now experience boxing's most unique show, an exclusive look inside the ring with the champ, Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray's Hit Parade. He'll take you through historic battles and give you the inside story behind every hook, jab, and knockout from fights that are totally uncut. Sugar Ray's Hit Parade. Tuesday at 9, only on ESPN Classic.
So close to the action, you got to duck.
Are you old school?
This is ESPN Classic.
Young Smokin' Joe Frazer rockets through the heavyweight division in 3 years. With an explosive left hook, Joe climaxes his undefeated record, being declared world heavyweight champion in 1970 with a knockout victory over Jimmy Ellis.
Joe Frazer's got a good chance to be a future Wilt Chamberlain. You know, people ask me, if you ever fight Wilt Chamberlain, how will it turn out? You know what'll happen? Know how it will sound? Know what you hear over your radio? Timber!
Doing the always shuffle right now.
That's good for a shoe shine. I'll put that always shoe shine. That's nice. That's what you watch. That's nice. That's what you watching. It's nice. Why should I want to watch it? I used to shine shoes myself.
I tell you what, let's quit all the talking. I have a place. I have somewhere to go, Howard. And let's get the contract signed. As soon as I take care of
you hear him now. He said get the contract signed.
We'll get the contract.
Now he's talking.
My manager, Herbert Muhammad, has, I think he's
Please talk to him.
Please
talk to him. I want you to talk to him.
And after you, I want all the basketball players out there, football players, they want me beat so bad, they want to get everybody. I'll go to Mars. I don't care. I don't care if it was 10 feet tall, I'll whip you.
You're right. I think Hoover said, a boy named Tom Hoover said you might be going to Mars sooner than you think.
You, Tom Hoover, all of you. Me and Bill Russell getting ready for you. Gentlemen, I must and cut that beard off because I'm not fighting Billy Goat.
And now Joe Frazer's the champion. I want Joe Frazer.
This is Joe Frazer fighting me. Punches around. See, this is Joe Frazer. He's trying to duck him. What he's doing, he's catching him, see. And a real boxer, this is nothing but a target for a man who can stay on his toes, who can stick him. Stay off the range when he don't want to punch. When he's ready to punch, move in. Stick. That's what you do a man like Joe Frazer.
He was trying to be the biggest man in the world, you know what I mean? And he had a lot of animosity in his heart, well, which I can't blame him. But
and for Joe Frazer to be a champion, he's got to beat me.
It didn't bother me because, number one, I know what I was put together with. I know what I was living for. I know what I was standing for, so it didn't bother me at all.
The fights between Ali and Frazer were wars that brought out the best in both men. They brought out not only the best, but they brought everything that each man had within him.
Because it started in 1971, March 8th, when both of them got $2.5 million, which was a quantum leap from anything that boxing had ever gotten before. And it was held at Madison Square Garden, and it might have been the greatest night in the history of sports.
I mean, I was positive that Ali was going to have no difficulty with Frazer before the first Frazer fight.
You're not fighting Quarry, you're not fighting Oscar Bonavena, you're not fighting Sonny Liston, you fighting Joe Frazer.
Joe Frazer. If Joe Frazer whoops me, I'm getting on my hands on my knees, crawl across the ring, look up to you, say, you I'll tell you what, I don't, you might go to the floor. I'm trying to get you on the spot if you think you're so good. Okay. And then I'm going to crawl back. I'm going to crawl back on both feet. And then I'm going to tell and walk out of the ring. So you when I whoop you, the thing about it, see, you might don't be able to crawl.
We looked around ringside. There was the photographer for Life magazine, Frank Sinatra. The stands were packed with celebrities. It was a night out. And Ali had done something interesting. He had cast Joe Frazer in a white man's role. And Joe, to this day, doesn't understand it. He keeps saying, I'm blacker than he is. But because Ali was the people's champion, and remember, this was the only time in history, and probably ever will be, that two undefeated champions fought for the championship, because Ali had never lost and Frazer had never lost. That this fight, so big it was called the fight.
Ali trying to tie Joe Frazer up in close. Joe wants to punch in there. Ali tells Frazer that didn't hurt. Ali talking to Joe Frazer. The fans cheering for their man, Muhammad Ali, as Joe pours it on. Ali seems disdainful in there. Both men ripping, tearing, bombing punches at each other. This is what the crowd came to see. Ali tells Joe, come on back. And come back he does. Joe Frazer lands the best punch of the fight. Ali almost goes down. Ali in desperate trouble. Ali holding on. Frazer trying to end it here in round 11. And Ali lasts the round out. Frazer shoves Muhammad Ali off of him. It's all Joe Frazer. Another torrid left hook by champion Joe Frazer. Ali can hardly stand. Muhammad Ali, rubbery leg, obviously in desperate trouble here in the 11th round, and there's the bell. Here in the 15th and last round, it's still very close. An explosive left to the jaw, and Muhammad Ali goes down.
Now remember, the 15th round, Ali was hit so hard, his eyes were rotating in their sockets, almost like it was a slot machine. But when his butt hit the floor, his eyes cleared.
Ali is up at the count of 3. Arthur Mercani wipes off the glove, and Joe Frazer moves in to finish it. And there's the bell, ending this battle of champions.
Muhammad Ali had lost his first professional fight. Joe Frazer spent several days recuperating in a hospital. The right side of Ali's jaw was swollen to melon size. When they met in the center of the ring after the fight, Joe Frazer turned to Ali and said, "We're not going to do any crawling. You fought one hell of a fight."
We were both tired in the end. I think he was a little tired. Because if he wasn't after getting me down like he did, with the beginning of the round, he should have finished me. If he was really strong and had the strength, but I could see he wasn't. He's missing a lot of hooks. He was exhausted too, but he kept forcing it. But the 3.5 years, I think, did a lot, but I still have enough left to get away with things like that with Joe Frazer.
I really think the guy's kind of sick in the head, really. Because some part of the fight he rapped off and said, "Don't you know I'm God?" So he keeps saying it, you know what I mean? Every time you throw a punch, you know, "Don't you know I'm God?" And I got onto some of them parts and I said, "Well, God, you're going to get whipped tonight."
Hey. You quit smoking.
Did I? He didn't quit. He uses Targon mouthwash.
Your teeth look whiter.
Look how Targon removes tobacco tar from these tiles.
Your breath smells so fresh.
If you smoke, use Targon.
Robin and I are going to Cooperstown together, and nobody's going to care that I got 98% of the vote and you only got 77.
Yeah, just like nobody's going to care I won more MVP awards, George.
We'll be too busy celebrating with Miller Lite, which tastes great because it's so smooth.
Well, I think it tastes great because of the choice hops.
Are you sure about that, Robin?
Yeah, I'm sure.
98% sure, or just 77% sure?
Miller Lite, the great taste of a true Pilsner beer.
That MVP thing's killing you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey! No, down here. Instead of running out for stamps, shouldn't you be running your business? Imagine a simpler way. Get the Personal Post postage meter from Pitney Bowes. Send mail without ever going out for stamps. Just weigh, punch in the postage, and voila. Professionally metered mail and no wasted postage. You can also add a personal message to get your mail noticed.
And postage refills by phone in 30 seconds, day or night.
Now listen up, because here's what you'll get. Besides a lot more time.
You'll get the postage meter and money-saving electronic scale.
So there's no wasted postage.
For a 90-day free trial.
Free is good.
You'll also get the Mail Marketer software.
Create really nifty direct mail to help your business grow.
Call now for your 90-day free trial, and you'll also get our Mail Marketer software absolutely free.
Now watch your business grow. Hey, I look good in red. The personal post postage meter from Pitney Bowes. Who else?
Now get the Wall Street Journal delivered for 13 weeks at just 57 cents a day, a 25% savings.
Call now, 800-215-3500. That's 800-215-3500 for the Wall Street Journal.
On the next Chap One-on-One.
I guess I rubbed some people the wrong way.
A controversial player and one of the NBA's top 50 of all time, Rick Barry, his competitive drive.
Hey, if I was watching me, I probably wouldn't like me unless I was a fan.
His switch to the ABA.
There were more people on the bench than the scoring table than there were in the stands.
And the sons who followed in his footsteps.
They're the #1 sire in the history of the NBA.
Barry, Chap One-on-One, Friday at 6:30, only on ESPN Classic.
This is ESPN Classic.
When Ali was to fight Frazer the second time around, they were both in the studio and we were viewing footage of the first fight, the March 8th, 1971 fight that was an absolute classic.
Sit down. Sit down, man. Sit down, Joe.
Why you think I'm eating?
Sit down, Joe.
Huh?
Sit down quick.
Why you think I'm eating?
The brothers are here.
Doing this too?
No. Sit down quick, Joe.
Well, we're having a scene, as you can see, and it's hard to tell whether it's clowning or for real between the two fighters. This kind of thing has been going on all along in terms of promotion of the fight, and this time it seems to be for real, because Joe Frazier is really angry. Muhammad called him ignorant, and he's really angry. I don't think this one is clowning at all. It's a bad and an ugly scene, and it's unfortunate, I think, that it's happened in the middle of showing a classic fight between two extraordinary athletes. I think that Ali is probably clowning, but there is no question in my mind that Joe Frazier is not clowning.
Former heavyweight champion Gene Tunney exchanges boxing notes with Ali at the press conference announcing the Ali-Frazer rematch. As always, when these two are within yelling distance of each other, microphones are quite unnecessary.
Ali would relentlessly taunt Joe Frazer. Couldn't resist teasing. Privately, however, if you could keep Ali away from an audience, he was a guy who would have asked Joe Frazer about how the kids were, how his wife was, how, you know, the normal kind of questions.
The two fighters go to the center of the ring for last-minute referee's instructions. Both of these men already being compared to the all-time great, legendary heavyweight champions. Ali comes out for round one in white trunks with a black stripe. Joe Frazer, the shorter fighter in the solid white trunks, starts right off coming to Ali. Joe makes no secret of his strategy. He presses the action fiercely, putting tremendous pressure on everyone he fights. That's how he beat Muhammad Ali 3 years ago, and Joe believes he can do it tonight. Throwing bombs. Joe is hurt. Joe Frazer in trouble here in round 2. Here, referee Tony Perez unbelievably tells the fighters the round is over. There's confusion as both men go to their corners. Perez tells the men to continue. But was Joe Frazer saved from a knockout? Ali pouring it on here at the end of round 2. A big round for Muhammad Ali. Joe taunting Ali. He can't wait to get out there. Frazer and Ali split rounds 7 and 8, and here going into round 9, it's still anybody's fight. Joe Frazer throwing bombs at Muhammad Ali here in round 9. Ali wants to keep Joe off of him. Crisp, lightning punches by Muhammad Ali. This is the 12th and final round. Frazer looking for that knockout here in round 12. Joe is going all out. Frazer tearing in there with dynamite punches. A punishing left to the head by Joe Frazer. Punches here at the end of the 12th round. A blazing finish to this sensational fight. Muhammad Ali pouring it on. Ali lightning fast here in the 12th round. Men pulling out all the stops here in the 12th round. And there's the end of this sensational fight. Both men gave 100% in an all-out dramatic effort for 12 electrifying rounds. 5 minutes later, the decision is announced to hundreds of millions watching live over closed-circuit television. Muhammad Ali with the unanimous decision.
We let you get back to...
All right, tell everybody in the theaters to get their seats because the other quarry got beat, so this one is the last of the White Hopes.
The last of the White Hopes.
He is the last of the White Hopes. So I'll see you at the showdown.
We'll see you in a few minutes.
All right.
6th round, and Ali looked out of his corner before the bell went, looked at someone ringside beside us, says, easy way to make a living. I reckon he's going to finish it now in this round. Yes, Quarry can't take anymore. I'm surprised at Mike Kaplan, referee, not stopping it. Quarry as game as they come, but Ali, I'm sure, is going to finish it this round. He's got to finish it. Quarry's still on his feet, but that's all. Ali just behaving as if he was with a junior sparring partner. Boxing this fight as he was behaving all during the day, as if there was just something he hadn't quite remembered he must do later in the evening before he goes to bed. Quarry goes forward hopelessly. Somewhere in the back of his brain, perhaps he thinks he can get the one sweet one, but the one sweet one isn't there anymore. Jab, jab, jab from Muhammad Ali. There's nothing left to Quarry and Quarry anymore. Cheeky, says Ali. Don't you dare hit me. The bandage come loose in Ali's left glove. He is punishing with 1 minute to go. Quarry beyond all possible endurance. Quarry doing his best to fight back. Quarry driven to retaliate. And he's catching Ali. Ali saying, come on, do it again. Quarry catches him again. Where is he getting this energy from? A glazed, dazed Quarry. Half a minute to go. And he's fighting back from nowhere. "15 seconds to go. And Quarry, where is he getting it from? He's punched his heart out there. And he really caught play. Oh, Ali. And he fights back again as Ali now is infuriated. The bell. What a turnaround. What a cheer for Quarry.
Well, as I said, this man Quarry does take some stopping. He's got all the heart in the world, and of course it suits him if Ali comes in and gets a little reckless and at least allows him to punch swap like that. But I must say, the refereeing in America never ceases to amaze me. That bandage was dangling from Ali's glove there. He was almost lashing Quarry to death with it, but the referee didn't take any notice whatsoever. But that really was a great round of hard fighting, fast hands from this man, Ali. But a great show of spirit by Quarry, who looked as though it might be his last stand. And Quarry falling in the corner, head bowed, hands on his thighs there, and wondering, can I now give it a go? There he is. He realizes, give all. I think perhaps we're watching the last round coming up.
At least he did wipe some of the smile off Ali's face there. Ali out to finish it. Yes, it was a last stand, I think. It was Quarry's last gallant effort. Referee must stop it. Yes, it's all over. All over, and rightly so, and not before it's time.
Ali loved being the center of attention, but it wasn't that he was an egomaniac, and it wasn't that he believed all the things that he said about himself. Well, he did believe that he was pretty. He really did believe that. But the thing was, he just winked with everything he did. His whole life was a wink, and his whole life was a pleasure.
George Foreman.
Damon, how you doing? George Foreman's coming up here now.
All right.
I'll whoop him too. No, let him go. Leave him alone. Because I'll put this fish right in your nose. Knock my hand down. I'll put this right in your nose. I'll put this right in your nose. That's right. Joe Frazer. Joe Frazer. That's right. Because you know Joe Frazer easy. You don't want me. I'm too... Boy.
Well, I don't know if you're hearing me, but there's a hell of a scuffle going on here. Hold it, I'm losing my mic.
Champ, let's go to the dressing room. Take him to the dressing room. Say, Champ, let's go to the dressing room.
Well, I don't know what Ali's doing there, but he's trying to punches down at George Foreman, one of the contenders for his title. Ali, I'm waiting to hear from you back in England, too.
All right, I'm ready. Tell them all back in England, I'm ready. I'm ready for Joe Frazier. I'm fighting every month. I'm proving he's coward. I want them all to get ready. Want them all to get ready.
Ali, why?
Want them all to get ready.
It's ESPN Classic.
The only time I ever really worried about Ali was when he signed to fight Foreman. I was frightened that he was going to get hurt. And I had seen what Foreman had done to Frazier, and Foreman looked like a destroyer, like nothing less. And Ali's skills were perhaps beginning to look a little tarnished. So when he went to Africa for that fight, I and other people who cared about him were worried that he might get hurt.
George Foreman is a dirty fighter. He is dirty. And by dirty, I don't mean morally. His style is dirty. When he fought Joe Frazer, I got the film, Frazer was moving this way, he saw it, and deliberately hit him on the back of the head as he went away. I've never saw George Foreman tired yet. George Foreman lately, haven't heard the man say, round 4, round 7, round 9, round 13, last round. Then I want to see, I can't take nothing from George, but I haven't saw George in a good scuffle yet.
George Foreman was probably the greatest puncher of all time in the heavyweight division. His knockout record is the greatest, is the best in boxing, not alone in heavyweight division. It's the best knockout record in boxing.
So I never worry about hitting power. So a man like George that comes out with those big... That's why he throw him, he draws them back. Hey, watch out, here come the left. Here come the right. Get ready, here come another left. That's what I hear when he's throwing them. So when a man, so I don't believe that I'm going to be knocked out and punched around. Experience.
When they went to Zaire, I was again positive Ali was going to beat this guy. I didn't think Foreman had improved at all. I remember watching Foreman. I mean, he had this invincible image which was built on this incredible 2-round knockout of Joe Frazer. Anybody could hit Joe Frazer. He stood right in front of you, and he dared you to hit him.
My father's got plenty to shoot for now. He's the underdog twice, going to shock the world and become the heavyweight champion of the world again.
When you say shock, you've been down the road with Ali all the way through his career, and he really wants the title back a lot.
No, the thing it's going to be is this. I've always said he's the greatest heavyweight of all time. He has to lick Foreman to make the press admit this.
Everything is on the line now. Ali goes back to his private training camp to start the drudgery of getting his 32-year-old body into the finest possible shape. This is certain to be the fight of his life. A somber, extremely serious Ali goes into training. Boxing experts have given the task which lay before him the disquieting label, impossible. Foreman is already a prohibitive betting favorite. Ali tells the experts they are wrong. But in training, he shows nothing to make them change their mind. Ali lays all over the ropes, makes every sparring partner look like a world beater. They all dish it out, and he takes it.
I'm fast, I'm ready. I've been working 4 months for this fight. My weight today is 214 pounds. That's fight weight already. I'm way ahead of schedule. My timing, my accuracy, my reach will be 1.5 inches longer. The man is slower. The man is flat-footed. The man don't stand a chance. The stage has been set. This man is supposed to annihilate me. 10 years from Sonny Liston, I was supposed to be get at that time. I think it's befitting that I go out of boxing just like I came in, shocking the world by beating a big, bad, ugly monster.
Under the auspices of President Mobutu from the heartland of Africa, live and direct from ringside in Kinshasa, Zaire, this is David Frost welcoming you to the World Heavyweight Championship fight between the champion, George Foreman, and the former champion, now the challenger, Muhammad Ali. This is the biggest, most expensive single sports event in history. Right now, the biggest live audience ever is gathered to watch this fight in the closed-circuit cinemas of America and Canada, Nigeria, France, the American Forces Network in Germany, and View Sport in Britain, and many more, live on television. Alongside me here, my co-host, Mr. Jim Brown. Jim, how are you seeing the contest at the moment?
Well, David, tonight it will be a contest between George Foreman, the awesome puncher, and the magic of Muhammad Ali, and I must emphasize magic, because it was magic in Miami, Florida, when he won the World Heavyweight Championship from Sonny Liston, when Liston stayed on his seat in the corner. Again in Lewiston, Maine, Liston was knocked out by a phantom punch. And finally, the great comeback after a 3-year layoff when Muhammad Ali beat Jerry Quarry and Oscar Bonavino. But the greatest magic, I think, David, that Muhammad possesses is the magic that he has with the people. And maybe tonight the magic of Muhammad Ali can beat the awesome power of George Foreman.
Well, that's certainly possible, and certainly the crowd here, I think, is for Muhammad Ali, perhaps partially because he's been telling everyone that George Foreman is Belgian. That may be one of the reasons. But who looks the fittest to you? You've been following the fighters all through.
Yes, I've been with them for at least a couple of months, but I think it's a standoff. Both fighters are in excellent condition tonight, David.
Let's go back now to Saturday night, 11 o'clock in the evening, African time. Muhammad Ali coming to the ring for the weigh-in, stops to beat the African drums with Big Black, who is in town to play the drums from Los Angeles. Ali was pretty much upstaged at the weigh-in, you'd have to say. He looks in grand shape as he walks into the ring, and one thing to remember, there were better than 15,000 people at 20th of May Stadium here to see Muhammad Ali and George Foreman weigh in. Ali takes off his robe, hands it back there to his man, Drew Bundini Brown, and as you can see, Muhammad Ali looks in absolutely fantastic shape. He is in fantastic shape. He's been training for 6 months. It all started back in Deer Lake, Pennsylvania, about 6 months ago. That's his brother, Rahman Ali, just off to the right of your screen. And Muhammad Ali is up on the scales, and that's Angelo Dundee, his trainer, standing off to the side there with the glasses on. The other fellow with the glasses is a member of the World Boxing Council who is involved in the weigh-in here. And there was a little bit of concern as far as the weigh-in is concerned because of the fact that Ali was first announced to weigh 206 pounds. Well, of course, this is not true. Ali came in at 216.7 pounds when the official weight was finally known. And now he steps down. Here's the heavyweight champion of the world, and maybe you can see what I mean when I say he upstaged Muhammad Ali, appearing in an African robe, and that, of course, to the delight of the thousands of fans in attendance. The man to the left of your screen, Dick Sadler, his manager, his handlers all around him, and the big fellow steps up on the scale, and boy, doesn't he look like a heavyweight champion. Tremendous looking upper body strength. As he raises that arm up in the air, his left arm, you can see the tremendous bicep, actually an inch larger than Muhammad Ali. He's also an inch larger in the forearm, so his arms all in all. And look at that stare from the heavyweight champ George Foreman as the cameras click away. And as he is getting the scale checked by Angelo Dundee in the light suit there and the glasses, Angelo, of course, the handler of Ali, doesn't want Foreman to get away with anything. Actually weighed in at 220 pounds, and believe me, he is in peak shape. Nothing can be seen around that right eye that caused the postponement of this fight, and doesn't he look like Mr. Universe as he steps down off the scale? What did you do today in your final preparation to get ready for the big fight tonight?
Well, I got up about 5 o'clock this morning, our time here, and not this morning, but yesterday morning, and took about an hour walk, had a nice breakfast at 7 o'clock, then I took a 30-minute walk, and then I sat around and met a few people, and we live in a quiet village outside Kinshasa, Zaire, and just reading fan mail and laying around and watching a couple of movies, The Return of Count Dracula, and Horrors of the Wolfman, and The Baron of Blood, all bad movies, rough, frightening movies. And they kept me on the edge of my seat until about 6:30. We had dinner at 7, took another walk from 7:30 to about 8, came in 8 o'clock and went to sleep and slept until 1:30. So we just got up and made it here.
You mean you don't feel the pressure of this big fight at all?
No, I probably won't feel it until walking out to the ring and hearing the crowd. And then getting there first since I'm challenger. I'm truly the champ, you'll see after this fight. But sat down and wait for him to come in the ring, and then you'll be a little nervous when he steps in, not because of him, but the idea that this is really getting ready to happen. I've been waiting years for it to prove I'm the true champion, and here it is. And then after the first punch is thrown and you jump around for half a round, you realize you're here. It's just like another day in the gymnasium.
Ali, the big story, of course, that your fans out there want to know, is this truly the last time you put the gloves on?
Yes, sir. As of now, I don't see nothing to keep me in the ring. I'm going to get my title back. I'm going to completely outclass this man tonight. I'm going to be too fast on my feet. I'm going to stick him, rip him up, cut him up, bruise him up, outpoint him. I might TKO him, might knock him out cold, or maybe a win on a big decision. I'm not going to predict the accurate outcome because it puts me on the spot and I try to fulfill it and it throws me off. But I plan to get him.
Just in time for Mother's Day, Zales has a half-carat diamond band for just $1.99. It's just one more reason for her to talk about you to her friends. At Zales stores nationwide or shop online at Zales.com.